In today's video, I'm going to be working on my Sansei 6100 signal tracer injector. It stopped working the other day, or rather, once I went to use it and turned it on, it didn't work. And I didn't have time to look at it at that moment. So that's what I'm doing today. Normally, if you turn it on here, it has like an integrated on-off switch. And a red LED should light like it does on the other side here with the injector part of this little unit. The LED comes on. So, and also if you, not only does the LED light come on, but if you turn it up all the way, and then you should hear some kind of a loud rushing sound coming out of the loudspeaker, but nothing happens. So I'm tempted to say this is a power supply problem because the red LED, the control light, does not come on. So that's what I'm venturing to say. I downloaded the schematic, and so I'll go ahead and open this thing up now. So just to make sure, I hooked up a audio generator to the unit, to the tracer part, and I'm going to turn it on, and we should hear something. We hear nothing at all, so that tells me, well, I am going to have to open this up. Of course, the problem could have been a battery too, but then I think this injector LED wouldn't light up like this, so much for that. So it looks like there's 4 screws holding this thing in. And it says you're made in Japan. That's a good sign. So we got one last shield here to remove. I'm making progress here, but it's more involved than I thought. I need to be able to get to these components here. So that means this plate has to come off. Now here's the power supply. I was able to figure out that the power supply is broken up in 2 sections. Bottom section here is for the injector, and the top section is for the tracer, which is not working on mine. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and check for voltage right here at the other end of the switch. I should have voltage here because we know the LED over here is lighting up, and over here to the left we can see it takes a 9 volt, it's a block battery. So I'll just go to this side of this switch right there. Rather, I can check both sides real quick and then go from there. So here's the input switch for the tracer, and of course this one's for the injector. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. That means I should have 9 volts. These pins are pretty easy to get to. Here we go, it's 9.4 almost, and probably is going to be this one here at the other side. 9.4, okay. So we know the switch is working, but I don't know which way. Let me see which way the signal is. If I shut the switch off, I should have the 9.4, or rather 9.39 volts only at one side. Okay, so we know the voltage is coming in through this side then. So I'll just go ahead and go on down the line. Next step is finding this transistor here, which is T1. It's a 2SD488, and it's an NPN transistor. So I repaired the unit and put it back together. I couldn't do the filming all in one day. I had to stop. So when I worked on it again, I forgot to basically turn the camera on. I forgot I was filming it, and I put the whole thing back together. So basically this is only like a half of a video, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about what I actually did. I have the schematic here, and that's basically more important than just showing, okay, here I had to take this part out and this part was bad. So you can just see some of my logic that I was basically using to troubleshoot this thing. It's not going to take very long, really. So now here's taking a quick look at the power supply. We can see here that this is a 9-volt battery. We can hook up an external power supply too. And here we have a little filter capacitor. And if we go right here to the switch, I think I took measurements here, and with the switch open I had full battery voltage, and with it closed I had full battery voltage too. So looking at the circuit again, past the switch basically, I had the full battery voltage right here where I'm pointing at, which told me something was wrong, because if the transistor, for example, is conducting, this voltage here should not be at the full battery voltage. It told me basically nothing was happening at all. Of course, the transistor could have been bad, which I was hoping it wasn't, or I could have a problem here basically with this resistor right here. And when I went ahead, I checked this resistor here in circuit. It basically, this resistor was open, so that ended up being the problem. Of course, I could see one here could have been shorted out, but that's highly unlikely. At any rate, it ended up being this right here. And since I had voltage here, and at the base here where I'm pointing at, I had no voltage, and at the emitter I had no voltage. And of course, the arrow pointing out means this is an NPN transistor. The collector is going to be most positive, the base less positive, and the emitter is going to be least positive. And this LED here, this control lamp, wasn't coming on at all, so that basically told me right there nothing's getting through to here. So at any rate, sorry I wasn't able to show the complete troubleshooting, but that's basically how you would have to go about it. And of course, between here, base and emitter, we should have some kind of a bias voltage, maybe about 0.6 volts or so. And after I put everything back together, that's exactly what I had. And of course, this resistor here is just a dropping resistor, and this is just another little smoothing capacitor here. So basically, that was it, and thanks for watching.